So here we are in turn 12 of Nordlingen, and what do we got? Well, Duke Charles cannot stop his force from charging. They're still in a state of charge. They're not able to halt that. They're compacted enough that they can't do much, but we had one cav charge up here. Now, that had the added bonus effect of turning one of those infantry units into a hedgehog, which is going to really create some problems for the Swedes. But then they kind of ingloriously, and these are arquebusiers, without weapons, they fired their pistol shots or whatever, they're out of ammo, charging into the flank here. Now they took one round, they had to. They had no option. They were one hex away. They move in. They take one round of fire and survived that. And now comes the problem. They're attacking at like -2 total. And they went ahead with it and they were destroyed and thrown into the pile. You don't want to make attacks at that level, but on the other hand, you don't want to be standing there next to a heavy infantry unit that can fire at you either. They got lucky that they didn't get dissolved in the first round, even though it's in the flank. All right, that's the end of his activation. It was just a single one, and that puts us over to the charging Swedish infantry over here on their right flank. And the Swedish infantry charge is repulsed. It was of limited scope. One unit advancing here was routed immediately. We had to send the wing commander, well, the army commander for that flank or whatever over. You get this weird kind of divisions in this game. And then these guys did a salvo fire on their second fire. Not much effect here. Here they got a hit, but they didn't get the morale. They didn't get the route they wanted. They wanted to send this guy flying, and now they're taking shots for it. Now, when they're fired at, they'll be firing back at a further penalty beyond what they're already taking. Right now, they've got the open formation. That's 2. They've got a hill. That's a third one. They're on top of the hill, which is a penalty. So you're aiming your musket down. The ball falls down. It doesn't project with as much volume or with as much velocity. Pardon me. That throws us over, oh, God knows what. Those are the charges, so we should have some actual make-readies kicking around, and it looks like we've got one Catholic one. That's got to be the Spanish horse. We come to the end of the line here, and you can see another injury. Make a quick check on him. That was this guy trying to reform the cav here. That's the Dutch allied army commander, and bang, he's gone too. I don't know who replaces him. I don't know. Somewhere or another they have it specified. It's probably Piccolomini. I'll have to look that up, see where those promotions come from. Another Swede runs off the map. Oops. And what we really have is the Catholics decided to hold the line here. They had some debate. They wanted to get into the better formation, the receive charge. Oh, crap, they're in it. Oh. Well. Yeah, I think I made it into make ready. I moved my artillery too quickly. 2 spaces in order to be in receive charge. Anyway, this is for the Spaniards. It's very easy to get confused with the little chits everywhere. Anyway, I guess their position, they've been trading fire up this hill a couple of times. They only got one continuation, and largely just doing what they can here. We're just moving on. I mean, there's not a lot that can happen when the fighting gets this dense. There's not even stuff to fire at because everybody's facing the wrong way. And at least I got the hedgehog out, but now that's in the wrong. Now that's in formation broken. The problem with being in a hedgehog is I got some cannons underneath that are going to provide an interesting surprise to the Imperial troops there, I guess. But yeah, the advance on this side's failing. The Catholics do not really want to advance because they wanted to trade shots here. If they could get out of trading shots there, they would love to do the advance. Okay, so the promotion for the Imperials would have been Gallus. He's got nowhere to go. He's off the map already or dead or something. So it looks to me like the Catholic Imperial Army has no army leaders. The Swedes still have both Bernard, and now their replacement here, the infantry commander, whose name starts with a V. I don't know. All right. Well, good old Duke Charles had to continue his charge even further, but eventually got to the point where he was able to drop down and rally. But not without losing another unit or two, I think, over here. One was a charge up this hill. And the other is just this route. One was a charge up this hill. That was a strike, I think, at 0, which isn't terribly bad. But he rolled a 0, which is terribly bad. So he lost another whole cav going up there. He's really, you know, he had this tremendous advantage after wiping the Swedish cav off the board. But now facing the infantry, he's just not holding up, especially with the terrain there. He's trying to hit them before they get deployed and can really do some damage. I don't think that it's a guarantee of the victory conditions of this scenario, certainly. But it is really unpleasant to watch a command that big and powerful just dissolve due to not being able to get the roll to activate, well, to change command situation. Now we go over, there's a whole bunch of Swedes in make ready, but there's also a couple of Catholics there too. And that looks like pretty much everything, actually. Oh boy. Well, the Catholics managed to get their guns lined up here. And even these two, they just had to bubble up in stacking. So they got to actually fire them, bashing through this thing, which it looked like it had, actually this reduced morale should have been on there earlier, but it looked like it had really begun getting some, I don't know, some power in terms of maybe brushing those Spanish infantry back. These aren't actually Spanish, are they? No, those are Italians. This guy's kind of swinging out in the wind. Now I'm sending a single heavy infantry over. I'm not sure he's going to go to the end of the formation there. Move the Spanish cav back here, but some of it's still stuck here, unable to move, really. It's jammed in here, and then can't go here without a charge order. I don't want to do that. I want to skirt it around, but the Swedish cav is beginning, the old Swedish left flank cav has swung its way around here and threatening, well, it's beginning to, and is threatening coming around the rear. The Catholics want to make sure that doesn't happen by protecting their flank. They've got a really sweet position here. I don't see how all this artillery, given that they knocked out a couple of the Swedish guns, is going to be something that the Swedes can face. And it's getting set up. That's exactly what they didn't want to face. Now the Swedes might have to, you know, do the old Duke of York thing, march right up a hill and then march down again, because this is not going to be pleasant to face. And the thoughts of trying to come around and come back this way, well, all those guns can move again. I don't know. A lot of counter-marching doesn't seem like the answer either, but damn, this is an ugly position. And I think that pushes it out to turn 14. Pulled this other, this is the Swedish right-wing cavalry coming around, trying to build a good combined cav force. Now, the Spaniards, like I said, are heading out this way, but the Duke probably can't, and facing this is unpleasant, so Well, he's got a couple options. One is swing around. Now he's got infantry with him though. He can't detach those. That's his problem. So he could swing around up this way, or he could swing around down that way, or he can just use his infantry and try to press in along, you know, holding up with the Spaniards in the combined Imperial center. I just don't see a lot of good advantages. I think strengthening this line as much as possible, keeping some cav in reserve because all the cannons have moved back, that's probably the best I could do. If I see that wide movement coming around here, I thought about it. I thought real hard about just trying to, you know, form this up, turn around, and just march off this hill. I think this is suicide what the Swedes are going to do, but there's, you know, it's not going to be any better from this side after I march around there. There's nothing I can really do to pin the Spanish guns up on the hill down and keep them from moving around. This isn't a game where you're... it's not like Saints in Armor where the guns once positioned are going to be stuck there. At least I got some guns in place here, one, and I got some more I can put up. I can start doing some counter battery fire. Because I don't particularly want to weaken this. I want to make my attack up here. Maybe I don't want to be on the hill. Maybe I just want to try to swing around. I don't know. This is just a really, really ugly tactical situation for the Swedes at this point. Okay, here on 14, the Swedes have started to set themselves up, trying to reach a sort of a linear position across here with the cav all over here to exploit the rear maybe. Maybe launch an attack on this side. But, you know, it's slow going. They got their cannons up and started doing some counter battery fire, but it's not working out very well. They're deploying another cannon here. They've got to get these cav out of the way to line the infantry up. They're going to go for it, the big assault. They don't have a lot left. Certainly not compared to when you start looking at the defensive line up there. The Swedes look a lot weaker. But they have good units. It's not going to do it, but we'll see. And we get kind of a quick finish here with the Catholics, mainly just firing all their guns. And that has some effect, chasing some cav off down here, formation hit here. But the biggest thing was a fire attack on Horn's big unit here may have caused a casualty. I'm pretty sure it did. That thing's almost gone. It's taken 9 hits out of 12. But it fired back and routed the Catholic unit. And now, because it's the end of the turn and I failed my continuation, this is going to keep going. 1, 2, let's just get them running. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't quite leave the map, but it's on its way there. And otherwise, just some cleanup to do. I never remember if I moved this. I think I did, but I don't know. Shit.